Hi, welcome to 20 Ways to Die. I'm Dan, the DM, and today we're sitting down with one of our players. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Tyler. I'm from Michigan.
Okay, and what attracted you to D&D?
Well, I kind of been into it for a while now. Mainly, I've been listening to a whole bunch of like podcasts, like what is it, Critical Role, Adventure Zone,
Okay,
Diecast, that kind of stuff. And it's like, hey man, that's cool. I want to do that. And then here I am.
great. And who are you playing? What's your character?
Well, he's a half elf. He's a bard. He's kind of like really the charismatic kind of person. If you imagine like 1600s, like this bard that's going around like taverns and doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, kind of like that, I guess.
Okay, and his name is Floristan, right?
It is Floristan, yes,
Floristan.
yes.
Okay, great. And why don't you tell me a little bit about him in particular, the physical description, his personality, a little bit more on that.
His physical description, it's kind of funny. He's super androgynous.
Okay,
Like you wouldn't like if you looked at him, you're like, okay, is that a guy? I'm assuming, yeah. He's pretty tall. He's got long white silverish hair, and he's like when you see him, it's ridiculous because he's got like probably 10 musical instruments strapped to him. Like he's got a drum, he's got a lute, bagpipes. I mean, he's just carrying it around with him, and he's confident enough to be like, what do you look? This is normal. Why doesn't everybody do this kind of thing?"
okay. And who would you say would be his celebrity doppelganger?
Yeah, that's a tough one. We were talking about it, and what I'm going with now is like Tilda Swinton.
Okay,
Like you can't really tell looking at him like what am I kind of looking at kind of thing.
right.
That's about as good of a description
Yeah,
as I can give.
right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's androgynous, so floor stand
Mhm.
can always be pegged as male or female.
Right, right.
And what brought your character to the adventuring lifestyle?
I view Floristan as kind of a comic relief, and when I was writing this backstory, I kind of went into that a bit too. He started off like as a court musician for this duke, kind of in Neverwinter,
Okay.
and he didn't really know his parents. He the first thing he can remember is playing his lute for this duke. So like this duke, I kind of had fun with his little story. So he's not a good person. Like I made a list of like all of the petty like white collar crimes that I can think of, like forgery or bribery or treason or anything that's completely unrelated to what you might think of for the time period.
Uh-huh.
I try to make him do that. So I kind of put up with that a lot. And then I had this guy who was my buddy. He was kind of like my mentor, and he's a mage. He was a conjuration mage. He focused on interdimensional portals, and for whatever reason, the only portal that he could open was it was to our world, and it was focused on David Bowie.
Okay.
So like whenever he opens this portal, he thinks that this is okay, this is normal for that world. He sees David Bowie performing a concert or
Hmm.
David Bowie doing an interview or something like that, and he's like, okay, well that's normal kind of thing. And like Floristan sees that, and he's like, well, no, I can do that. I want to do that. And he sees Bowie as more of not so much like a rock star, but um like an influencer kind of thing.
Okay.
So like he sees he sees a concert, he sees a sold out crowd, and he doesn't see like someone performing a concert. He sees someone sharing his ideas with the world and trying to influence how people like treat each other and how they see each other and stuff like that. And like this is kind of like all wrapping up in Floristan's head. And then he takes a look around and he realizes the Duke he's working for, he's not a good person. So he tells him, you really shouldn't be treating people like this. You should really be more respectful, be good to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just coincidentally, that's when the guards take him like out of the dukedom and then into jail. So Floristan thinks, okay, I did that. He just didn't realize that he was being a douche to everybody, and that that as soon as Floristan told him, he just changed his ways. And
Hmm.
then so that leads Floristan to believe, of course, that everything that's wrong in the world, people just don't realize it. And if he just tells everyone, then hey, eye-opening, I can be better. So Floristan just goes out into the world, kind of spreading the good word, so to say. It's like, hey, don't take crap from anybody. Just be good to each other. So
Okay.
that's kind of where he's at right now.
Okay. Great. And what would you say is Floristan's goal right now, like short term or long term? What kind of goals does he have?
He kind of just wants to be a rock star, man. So he sees Bowie. He wants to be Bowie, and he wants a world where everybody's good to each other. There's no oppression, there's no slavery, there's no killing, all of that kind of stuff. And he believes that he can do that by being a rock star. So he wants to make everybody happy. He wants to be the David Bowie as he sees it of
Hmm.
Faerun.
Right, like you said, an influencer. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. And so far in the game with Floristan, what is your favorite moment or moments that you've had?
There's a bunch of them. The one that really sticks out to me as like, yep, this is definitely Floristan. It happened not too long ago. We were in, I don't know how spoilery we want to get, but we were in this castle Neatar, and it's kind of this it's like a high point falling action of the chapter. And we kind of we raided the castle. We went down in the basement to try and root out like the big baddies, like the bosses for this cultist that were infiltrating. And the Floristan moment of it is his idea of infiltrating this group is to dress up as them and to try and like pass himself off as one of the leaders.
Right.
And so they're in the basement, and we walk into one such meeting, and of course Floristan's like, "Hey, we met this wizard guy earlier. He seemed to be pretty high up. I'm going to dress up as him and walk into this meeting." And it's Floristan because like he's outgoing enough, and he doesn't really understand the concept of danger, and he just walks up there dressed up as this guy to try and get all these people to talk to him. And the guy he's dressing up as was part of the meeting that was there. Like, he was in the room,
Right.
and like a normal sane person would try and like backpedal or like call in reinforcements or something, but not Floristan. He calls out this dude, and he's like, "No, actually, you're the fake one, and I can prove it." And it's not like he was even trying to convince everybody else in the room. He was trying to convince the dude he was dressing up as that he was the imposter. And that's just a really kind of Floristan moment. Like, you know what? I'm the best out of everybody, and you're gonna recognize it. And he did. And I mean, it really fell apart at that point. I mean, like, it all went up in flames, but that point when he was trying to pass himself off as this dude standing right in front of him, that was probably my favorite part so far.
Nice. Okay. How would you say the campaign has affected your character so far, either in the game as the character has developed, or possibly maybe how you have played Floristan?
Yeah, yeah, when I was writing Floristan, I was thinking of him as someone that like everything just comes so easy to him, and he's like the best loot player you've ever seen, and he doesn't practice, or like he just thinks, okay, well, I can do literally anything I want, and nothing can hurt me. And he walks into situations like that where, okay, I'm invincible. There's nothing that can hurt me, and there have been times where he's almost died, and a couple different times he's been
Hmm.
down. We're doing the death saves and stuff, and it's interesting to see kind of like, okay, maybe he's not as invincible as he thinks he is, and he's starting to get kind of afraid and be like, okay, these people actually want to hurt Floristan, and he's in some danger, and he needs to be careful. And it's not so much as like rushing into everything anymore. It's more of like a coming to reality kind of thing.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh man, well, let's hope you guys enjoy it. I don't really have a whole lot to add. Really, you just listen to him and enjoy Floristan. He's not meant to be taken seriously. He's meant to be taken as someone that everybody can relate to and just has a good time around everybody. And that's really all I can add right now.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much for your time, and look forward to playing some more sessions in the future.